3, 2, 1, go!
And the 2013 CrossFit Games season has started. 13.1 is begun. We've got 17-minute AMRAP. We're starting off with a combination of 12-1 from last year, 12-2 burpee snatches. We're going to start with 40 burpees. Again, the target 6 inches out of their reach once they do 40 burpees, into 30 snatches at 75 pounds for the men. Followed by that, 30 burpees, then 30 snatches. We're up in the weight, backed up to 135, 20 burpees, then to 30 more snatches at 165, 10 burpees, and that's going to finish out to 100 total for this workout. And if there's any time remaining, we're going to see how many snatches they can do at a weight of 210 pounds.
And Chase, right there, I think the 210 snatch, that's going to be where we see the big workout. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be at the end. These 40 snatches here in the beginning, or the 40 burpees here in the beginning, 30 snatches, 30 burpees. I think the athletes here are going to be relatively close in their speed. I think we're going to see who has all of the capacity and the energy left at the end and gives himself enough time to be able to complete as many reps as they can with that 120-pound snatch.
And the athletes are being very smooth right now. They know that they have a lot of reps to go for the rest of the workout. Dan Bailey has about 10 reps left. Scott PANCHIK is close behind him. They want to be smooth here. I don't think we want to blow it out too early. We got a long way to go.
Yeah, if I were going to tell an athlete how to approach this workout, it would definitely be to pace out the burpees, be smart with the burpees, make sure that you're going at a pace that you can maintain. You can definitely hurt yourself if you go too far in the tank with the burpees. You smoke your shoulders when you get to that bar.
And Dan Bailey, first out of the burpees, which is kind of a surprise because if we think back to last year in 12.1, Scott PANCHIK tied for the best score in the world with 161 burpees in just 7 minutes.
And we just heard Rory say that, and everybody has it in their head that I think everybody expected Scott PANCHIK to come out of blazing with those burpees. But remember, Chase, it's not just 7 minutes. This workout, you cannot go balls to the wall, all out right from the gates on those burpees. It will affect your lungs, it will affect your shoulders, and I think he's playing his game. My guess is he's going to strategize, go to a nice, easy pace. You heard him speak. I think he's going to try to stick to his game plan of pacing it until the end.
Both athletes are now on their first 30 snatches. Dan Bailey just finished 15 reps. I remember last year in the video, they had broke it up into 3 sets of 10, so already changing the game plan a little bit this year.
Yeah, last year it was very methodical. He and Rich went head-to-head, and it was much slower, much well thought out. You have to remember they only had 10 minutes here to kind of think through their game plan. So whether going head-to-head with Scott changed that game plan really could have been in his head if he wants to get a nice lead, knowing that PANCHIK's not going to have a problem with those burpees.
And the hand is up with the judge. Dan Bailey finishes his last snatch. He's now transitioning to 30 burpees. We started with 40, but from the snatch transition, we're now moving down to 30. Dan Bailey looks strong. Scott PANCHIK now starts his burpees. They're moving to 30. So right now, Dan's in the lead. He's coming on strong. We know Scott PANCHIK can do the burpees. You got to think there's some strategy going on. Maybe PANCHIK might be gaming it a little bit because he knows Dan has a little bit more strength when it comes to that snatch.
You know, we spoke with Scott PANCHIK earlier, and he really seemed calm and confident. And I really think that he's just sticking to his game plan. I don't think he's looking at Dan and trying to play off of his game and trying to beat him right at this point. My guess is we're going to see a move in just a little short time. I think Scott's going to make his move. I think he's going to step it up.
We do have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of time to do. There's still 13 minutes left in 13.1. So these athletes might be gaming the workout themselves. They might be gaming the workout with each other. Dan Bailey just passed the halfway point. He's got about 13 burpees left. Now he's going to move to the bar after he finishes his burpees, and we're going to move to 30 more snatches, but instead of 75, we're jacking up the weight to 135.
You have to also look at the crowd. There's a lot of energy in here. There's been a lot of help in here, a lot of hype, and I think that probably has a lot of an effect of how fast these athletes came out of the gates. And possibly for Dan, maybe he came out a little bit hard, maybe a little bit too fast. We know he had capacity last year at that 210-pound bar, so it'll be interesting to see if this huge crowd here, Vitality, made an effect there on how fast he came out of the gates.
Dan's judge hands in the air. That's a sign for 3 left. 5 left for Scott PANCHIK, so these athletes are still very close. We got a long way to go. 2 more reps. Dan Bailey's finishing his last rep right here. Now he's got to move to the bar. We got 30 more snatches. He's got to change the weight out himself, moving it up from 75 pounds to 135 pounds. Scott PANCHIK now to his bar. Now the tool is, are they going to rest a little bit and use this?
Yeah, here's the thing then, Chase, too. When they switch their weights, it's crucial to not afford to take too much rest before and after you're switching that weight. Truthfully, I tell all of my athletes, use that breathe right now as much as you can, because if you switch your weights and then try to get yourself set, you could be looking at right there. Dan was at least 30 seconds right there on his transition. That's huge. You need to quick switch those weights and get moving.
That's a very quick switch, and Dan Bailey and Scott PANCHIK also going rep for rep right now. Neither one has put the bar down. Scott puts it down first. Dan Bailey is still going. You got to think, again, thinking about last year, we're trying to see, have we improved our fitness from the previous year? Dan was repping out 5 every set for just a second workout alone, but right there he ripped off about 7 or 8.
Yeah, he may be trying to pull ahead a little bit, try to keep that lead. That might be the way his game plan goes. He's used to going head-to-head with someone. He is, so probably in his head he's trying to stick with Scott as close as he can and stay ahead.
Bailey's now at 12 reps. Scott PANCHIK is creeping up back into this race. Still very smooth. And now as we get more fatigue, that technique has to come into play.
Yeah, don't forget there's a lot of hips going on. If you watch Scott, he's got to use a lot of jump, is what we say, or a lot of hip hop to get that bar to move and to float. And the burpees are going to take some of that energy out of your hips. It's going to fatigue your hips some. So while everybody's focused on the shoulders, thinking it's all shoulders, really you got to remember in CrossFit, all of your movement starts with your core and it starts with those hip flexors. And you can see the fatigue is starting to hit. They're stepping away from the bar and they need to get a little bit more air.
Bailey passes, he's at 22. He has 8 more reps. 8 more reps to go. Then we're moving on back to burpees. We're going to drop it from 30 to 20. We've just dipped under the 10-minute mark, so basically our 7 minutes of burpees from last year is out of the way. We're still combining it for this one. We have less than 10 minutes to move down the ladder. The ultimate goal is how many snatches can we get at 210.
Now don't forget, these guys are top-level games athletes, and 100 burpees in a workout, to be honest, for you and I, for many of the general public CrossFitters, that's a lot of burpees, but for these guys, honestly, it's not that many. Break them up, and it's just going to be taxing the lungs a little bit. What I think we're seeing more of is how many they can straight set, holding onto the bar, and actually I was wrong. I think it's going to be what's going to affect them more than those burpees. It's going to be who straight sets and who burns out right here in this middle weight on the snatches.
Dan Bailey has 2 reps left. That is his last snatch. He's moving on. Now we went from 30 burpees to 20 burpees. So the burpees are decreasing every set. He's got 20 burpees. Scott PANCHIK now off the bar. So these guys are still neck and neck. We have different strategies going on, but this calm, cool, collected pace, because we know we're building. We're building up for those last 3 to 4 minutes. That's when it starts to get interesting.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this next, my guess is the next 30 snatches at 165, this is where we're going to see some things either fall apart. We're going to see either Scott or Dan make their move. And I think this is where the separation is going to happen. They're going to need to buy their time. Right now, they're going to have to get themselves in a good position going into the next set of burpees and their last set of burpees to give themselves the time for the last bit of snatches.
And that's a great point. Thinking about the 12.2, it was that third round of snatches that really became the game changer. Yeah, 210 and 120 were the ultimate goal, but how well could you get through those third set of 30 snatches at 165? I believe it's 100 pounds for ladies. So we're going to see they may be pacing these burpees knowing full well what's ahead of them for these next 30 snatches.
Yeah, and the first 2 snatches, they're light. Really, for these guys, it wasn't too fatigued, wasn't too taxing on them. But it will be this next round that we see what happens.
Both athletes hovering around 17 reps, 3 to go. Scott PANCHIK has made up a few reps from that snatch into this third set of 20 burpees here. 1 more for Dan Bailey. 1 more for Scott PANCHIK. Oh, he actually did an extra rep, so it's good to have the judge there, because honestly, I'm moving. You tell me when to go and when to stop. I'm just going to keep doing work.
Again, we're gonna see how long this transition takes for the guys. You can see Scott's breathing hard. Dan is too. They're gonna need to get their wind here. And mentally, you're gonna have a really good edge, a really good advantage. If you're the first one to the bar, you're the first one to get that barbell up overhead.
We know fatigue comes into factor, technique comes into factor, but let's talk about this crowd. There's hundreds of people here cheering these guys on, so fatigue might come into play, but that adrenaline rush that you get from this community around us, and not just the hundreds of people here, but the thousands of people watching this live right now, Open Watt 13.1. We say hey to you guys out there in cyberspace. Thank you for joining us.
And truthfully, Chase, I think that's going to make all the difference for Scott having this energy. He's new to CrossFit, he's new to the competition scene, and I think that for him, it's going to just elevate his adrenaline, and you're really going to see him put up the best performance he can here in this crowd.
I think it's a great time for Scott. If you think about who got fourth at the CrossFit Games last year, a lot of people couldn't tell you that answer. It's Scott PANCHIK. Scott PANCHIK got fifth in his regional last year, ended up getting fourth in the CrossFit Games. So this is kind of Scott's coming out party.
It is. He met up with a coach, and he's had a coach now for just about 8 months. And really, again, when we spoke to him, his confidence was through the roof. He said he is such a better athlete.
All right. We're finishing it. This is our third set of snatches. We've got 30 at 165. We've got Dan Bailey, Scott PANCHIK doing singles right now. We're coming up on the 5:30 mark. They're going rep for rep, head to head. This is the point of the competition. I couldn't think of two athletes better to go head to head in this competition. If we think back to the games last year during Isabel, these guys basically had the same exact time. So you see Dan Bailey, he's huffing and puffing, but he knows that he's got to set the tone, set the bar now.
They're both going to, they're choosing to drop the bar, single reps. I think it's a smart decision. Riding that barbell down, it's a lot of energy. There's a lot more that goes into controlling the barbell down, and at this weight, they're trying to conserve as much energy as possible.
Dan Bailey just hits 11 reps right there. We're at the 5-minute mark. The question to ask now, are these athletes gonna make it to the 210 bar?
It's gonna be interesting to see. I think it's taken a lot more out of them than they expected. They're gonna have to pick up their pace. They're gonna have to really move on that last set of 10 burpees and through the rest of these snatches that they're gonna have a chance at that 210-pound bar.
And maybe they push the pace to get to the 210 bar, but will they be able to do anything with the 210-pound bar?
Well, you know what? If anybody can, I'm gonna say it will be Dan. He showed it last year. He was one of just a few men that could handle more than one rep, and I really think if anybody's gonna do it here, we may see Dan pull out a few reps, if he can give himself enough time.
Rep team count right now. Dan Bailey just passed the halfway point at 15 reps. Scott PANCHIK hits 19. So Scott PANCHIK has now pulled ahead by 4 reps. Dan's got to know where that count is right now.
Yeah, you know what? At this point last year, both athletes were going faster with their 165-pound rep than they are here, and I think it's because the burpees did play a factor to them. It really just did. This is a whole new different workout. It isn't 12.1, it isn't 12.2, it's 13.1. Married the two, and it really did affect these snatches.
It is 13.1, so you're going to give him a little pass. 90 burpees might make these 30 snatches at 165 pounds pretty tough. Scott PANCHIK's got single digits now. You know, I always feel when I get to those single digits, I'm almost there. I'm almost home.
Yeah, and mentally, this one just takes them to the end. They have to move. They have to pick up the bar.
Scott PANCHIK has 7 reps left. Dan Bailey has 10 reps left. We're getting close to that 3-minute mark. They're going to have to still do 10 burpees after these 30 snatches, then load their bar, and then try to hit.
Scott's pace, though, he's able to step right back to the bar. Dan's taking a little bit more time. I think it's going to really cost Dan the extra seconds.
Dan Bailey now 22 reps. He has 8 left. Scott PANCHIK hitting 27. He has 3 reps to go. 7 left for Dan Bailey. Scott PANCHIK's got to know where he's at. You know he needs to get to these 10 burpees, get them done, and get back to that bar, because just because you get to that bar doesn't mean you're going to be able to lift it right away.
Right, and we were looking at about a 30-second transition just to put the weights on and switch the weights out. That transition is going to have to be fast for him.
Scott PANCHIK is on his 30th rep right here at 165, hits it, he's moving to burpees, he's got 10 left. Dan Bailey still has 5 snatches left.
This is all adrenaline, it's 10 burpees, he knows in his head already his speed is faster than it was before. he's just looking to get them done.
He said to get them done, but we don't get them done too fast. That 210-pound snatch for these guys, both having a 270-plus snatch PR right now. It might not seem like a lot to 210, but after 90 burpees, 90 snatches, 100 burpees after these 10, 210 in that transition time is really going to wear on him towards the end.
I still think Scott's going to have the adrenaline. He's going to have the energy being in the lead right now. If there's ever a chance he's going to do it, it's going to be here.
Dan Bailey is on his last snatch. Scott PANCHIK finishes his 10th burpee of the set. He's got to put the weights on. We got 90 seconds left. Dan Bailey has to finish his 10 burpees. Scott PANCHIK needs to hurry, setting up that 210-pound bar. There's only a minute 20 seconds left. It's going to take some time to get the weight on, get set, and settled for that 210-pound snatch.
That's a good point. He is going to have to settle. He is really going to have to gain his composure and make sure he makes the lift successful. The worst thing he could do is get the barbell overhead and have it fail, and have it drop and not count as a rep. It would waste so much energy.
Dan Bailey is pushing the pacer on his last 10 reps. You know he wants to get at least one, not just attempt, but one successful attempt at that 210-pound snatch. Scott PANCHIK is ready. He's getting set. We're going to see, can he hit 210? We have 45 seconds left. And that's one. Dan Bailey back to the bar. Scott PANCHIK got one snatch at 210. Dan Bailey is setting his bar right now. We have about 30 seconds. 30 seconds right there. Scott PANCHIK with 2. Dan Bailey still setting up this bar. Scott PANCHIK looks strong. He came to play today. He wanted to put a stamp on this 13.1. Not just that, but tell the CrossFit community, I have arrived.
We saw the confidence. We heard his confidence earlier. We're seeing it now.
Can Dan Bailey get one snatch at 210? Scott PANCHIK hit 5. And you just see that Dan Bailey smoked at the end. But there you have it, folks. 13.1 in the books. Scott PANCHIK, unofficially 5 snatches. He came to play today. We know Dan did too, but we talked to Scott before this. We talked to him before this event, and he sounded calm, he sounded confident. He was new to the scene, but he got his own coach now, and he said between regionals and the games, right? He was a different athlete, a different animal.
And from the games until now, he's even a greater athlete. You could see it. He was so composed when he talked to us, and I think right now, that's just the start of what we're going to see really good things from Scott PANCHIK this season. And I think it's a great way for him to get started.
A great way for Scott. Dan Bailey also did amazing. He got to the snatches. He had a shot. We were just too smoked trying to get there. 13.1 is in the books, but these are just 2